What's something that's totally innocuous? Ready Player One features appearance by Hitler.
Oh my God.
Yeah, just like in the background. There's all these characters, all these great characters. They've got Hitler.
Oh boy.
Lizzie Borden is one of the final bosses.
Oh my gosh.
And then at the very center, Brutus. The final circle of hell. People aren't really broken up about Brutus anymore.
No.
What if they redid? Somebody must have some Tumblr blog somewhere has redone the Inferno with modern personalities.
Yes.
Imagining if, I don't know, a modern Dante got kicked out of Hollywood or something like that, and then he'd go back and like, Tom Cruise is frozen in the center of hell. Or something like that. Or it's Elia Kazan, because he ratted on communists or whatever.
Oh, boy.
This guy, this hypothetical person is about 105 years old.
Yes.
So they know what the Inferno is.
Right.
And then Inferno remake. Where's the Inferno movie?
I don't know.
Isn't it about time?
Maybe.
Not superhero-y enough?
I don't think it is superhero-y enough.
Dragons and demons?
Well, that's there.
Angels.
I mean, you look at Constantine and something like that, like
Ooh.
Dante.
You found it.
Yeah?
That's the new, now that Del Toro is gone, assuming he's gone, that's the new Justice League Dark movie. You have to go through the Inferno. Save it. We'll talk about Del Toro a little later in the show. No,
Okay.
I mean, I hate April Fools, and the internet has only made it worse. It's always best when it's a Sunday, because people don't work too hard, I don't think, because, who's checking their phone on a Sunday? I mean, we all are, but we're not, at our desks. So
right.
you can just see something and go, all right, whatever, and just kind of move past it.
Instead of, newsflash.
Right, and you go back to work on Monday, and you settle in at your desk, and then you go online. Are there people that can't go online at work still?
Maybe.
That was a big thing, when I entered the workforce and the internet was kind of a toy, and now we all need it forever.
Right.
Anyway, so, yeah, there you go, April Fools. Employees or employers cracking down on employee internet usage.
There you go.
And they've got the perfect worm virus that can tell if you have checked your email or something like that.
Your personal email.
Yeah, you're watching baseball online.
Yeah.
That's all real, by the way. No, I just don't like it. You go to ThinkGeek and they always have fake products, but they're kind of like pitching actual products.
Yeah.
I know some fake products have become real ones. They had a Klingon alphabet refrigerator magnets.
Oh, really?
And all day long, I've been like, don't believe anything. Don't believe them. Don't trust them.
Right.
That's Star Trek. And then I saw that and I was like, oh, no,
it's not real.
You've hurt me, and I wish to go on hurting you. Not real. It might. I think that's got a good chance of becoming real, though.
Okay.
Yeah. So don't do it. Just don't do it. I could come on here and say that Marvel Studios acquired, DC. Or properties
right.
from Warner Brothers or something like that. But no, what's the point? That doesn't help anybody.
No, it doesn't.
That being said, check out my April Fool's show over on Enterprising Individuals. We do have a tradition of, hopefully in an entertaining way,
yes.
presenting you something that isn't a lie or a trick. It's just a different view of something that you already love. And last year, we started off by, on April Fool's, we released, I think April Fool's is a Wednesday. Maybe not. Anyway, that's when the show comes out.
Okay.
You can find it at enterprisingindividuals.com. But we did a review of an episode of T.J. Hooker.
Which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, with the conceit was that this is a show that's been going, for a while. We're going episode by episode through T.J. Hooker.
Right.
And there's one episode of T.J. Hooker that Leonard Nimoy guest starred on.
Well, that's pretty great.
And so it's Shatner and Nimoy, and we're like, these guys are good together. It's just a shame that they never really got to work together again. And so this year we were reviewing the movie Incubus, which is the notorious film starring William Shatner that is all in Esperanto. And the conceit was it was Castperanto, the Esperanto media podcast. Which, by the way, I had a lot of fun doing that with Jacob Gulliver of Hot Chocolate Media. You can find them at Hot Choc Media on Twitter.
Okay.
I had so much fun. I was like, this should be a show.
Yeah.
Like, you've got a built-in audience.
Sure.
Because I imagine that if you were a big booster for Esperanto, you speak it, and also you're like always at parties. You're like, do you know about Esperanto? You should check it out. Here, you can go to a class. I teach one. And so you've got, I mean, it'd be a small but a dedicated audience.
That's
true.
true.
And then part of the joke was, I mean, we did Incubus because it's famous as this Esperanto movie, and also it stars William Shatner, of course.
Right.
And we, but we also had like a coming in from last week and a heading into next week thing.
Okay.
And we were talking about The Great Dictator, the Charlie Chaplin movie, which features Esperanto signage in some of the scenes in the ghetto.
Okay.
And then we, I said that we'd be doing Saga, the comic book Saga, next week because that features Esperanto in some of the dialogue as well. And I thought, this is a great idea.
Yeah. This could actually happen.
I can't. I'm just too busy. I can't learn Esperanto and then start a podcast that examines the use of Esperanto in popular media entertainment. But what a great idea.
It is a good idea.
So I say, you're free. I declare you're free. In Michael Scott style. Anybody that wants to take that and run with it, go ahead. And email the show at justinoughtrope.com or at gmail.com. And I'll give you the Casperanto Twitter name that I've got at Casperanto on Twitter, and I've got a Gmail address too. Anyway, but if you're going to if you're serious, if you're going to take this and run with it, I would listen to that show because just playing around, I did learn a little bit of the language, and it's almost like it feels like playing a game on easy mode.
Really?
Yeah, you know when you're like Nathan Drake and you're running around, and you got to kill hundreds and hundreds of people to get the Ark of the Covenant or whatever, and you jump up from behind something and you shoot a guy and it goes down immediately. You're like, that usually takes 3 or 4 bullets at least.
Right.
And you look up, oh, I've got it set on easy. That's what learning Esperanto is like.
Okay.
Yeah, you go in and it's almost, in my limited experience, it's almost like if you were going to like make fun or like pretend to speak Spanish, and you'd be like, "Oh, get my cupo and drinko out of it."
Right.
It's kind of like that.
Really?
Yeah. Not in a trolling or offensive way, but it's meant to be very easy for, well, at least Westerners to understand.
Okay.
And so that's kind of what. So I was learning some of the words. I'm like, "What's the word for 3?" It's 3.
Oh.
So yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, so head start. I got a head start. No, I can't do it. Email us. It's all yours. Well, what is this? This is the Just Enough Trope podcast. I'm your host, Caliban, joined as always by my co-host.
Hi, I'm Mikan Hana.
And we're here to talk a few things today.
Yes.
For our Askulkantoi, our listeners. That's listeners and Esperanto.
Oh, my goodness.
Hey, I told you I learned something. And we're going to be talking about some news, a little news, and then we'll be talking about our plans for the future, which are big. Don't worry, everything's fine. Just an announcement about something we're going to do that you're probably going to like. And then also, I want to talk about, and this is not exactly out of nowhere, it's been a month or so since the Oscars, but it was a big night for one Guillermo del Toro, who we mentioned before, and we want to talk a little bit about him. And I wanted to just kind of maybe set a clock and talk about modern horror, the state of modern horror in films for 10 minutes or so. Because we don't talk about horror a lot.
No, we don't.
It's genre.
It is.
And I'm not like a crazy Dyed in the Wool fan, and the dye is blood, and the wool sweater is from Jason's mom. That's pretty much all I know about Friday the 13th. But, you know, I like all good movies. And so there are a lot of good horror movies, and there's a lot of bad horror movies, and we'll talk about that. And anything else we're supposed to talk about on the show? So the news?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't really think so either. So we'll be doing that later on. I wanted to mention before we just kick into the news. Oh, how are you doing, by the way?
I'm doing well, Cal. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Good.
Thanks for throwing it back.
Sure.
Now I'll get to it, or or I kind of thought organically you were going to start talking about what it is.
Happy Easter as well as April Fools.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
The ultimate superhero.
Yes.
Jesus Christ, our Savior. No, I was talking about how we attended Minicon this weekend.
Oh, that's right. It was a busy weekend.
Give me a rundown on Minicon.
Minicon is a break-off of Convergence or
It's not a break-off.
It's not a break-off?
Already wrong.
Okay. Dang it.
Try again.
Minicon is a mini-con, and it tends to kind of be a little bit more writer-centric.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's do this officially. So
Okay.
it's sponsored and basically put together by the Minnesota Science Fiction Society.
Okay.
And so yeah, it is. It has a long history. This is its 53rd year.
Yes.
And the convention Convergence, which we go to and talk about on the show every year,
Yep.
split off from them.
Okay.
And
That's the split.
Yeah, and I don't know the reasonings behind that. I know that it was getting really big. And so just to speculate, I think that Minicon wanted to stay focused, like you said, on the more literary aspect. There are
More science fiction.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And one thing, science fiction fandom and science fiction literary fandom. Excuse me. And one of the things that you can do is that they have actual like tracks, like writer tracks, where if you are somebody who wants to be a sci-fi writer, a lot of their panels and programming act as like courses, where you can go
Sure.
through and find out how to do this and how to do this and how to do this. We had one of the main organizers, Stephen Burst, explain this to us on the
Yes.
show 2 years ago, when we had famous local author. Well, he's not just a local author; he lives here, but he is a famous author, Stephen Burst, on. And so, yeah, it's kind of focused on that. And after splitting with, their numbers were getting up in like the 1,500 to 2,000 attendees scale. Mm-hmm. In 1999, they split into Convergence and then Minicon.
Yep.
And Convergence took most of those sort of fans at the time. So that's the place where you go, where you want to put your Naruto costume on.
Right.
And you want to go to a panel about Star Trek, hopefully, if you're going to be there.
Right.
Check us out. Or Naruto or whatever it is. And so Minicon is kind of a lower key affair. Mm-hmm. But fun nonetheless.
Right.
And I had a lot of fun there. I was on some of the panels and some of the programming. And I think the highlight for me was probably getting to be on a panel with Lyda Morehouse.
Sure.
Former guest of this show and the guest of honor for the Minicon show this year. And we talked about cyberpunk. Mm-hmm. And is this the cyberpunk, write it down, cyberpunk future that we were promised?
Right.
And I don't know if we really stayed on that topic, but we talked about, like, how does cyberpunk look now? It's like almost 40 years, I think, from its inception.
Something like that.
And about 25 years after its death.
Oh, no.
Because the creators of cyberpunk almost immediately declared it dead. Because it got so hot and it wasn't punky. It wasn't fringe anymore.
Right.
We talked about the fringe social elements and how important they are. The ubiquity of technology. The pitch of the panel, like the description was sort of like, well, we've all got cyber decks in our pockets and we're all being watched continually by powers that be, by rich oligarchs, that run big corporations. Like, except
True.
for the rain and the ladies eating sushi, we're living in cyberpunk.
That's true.
And so, we talked about that. And Blade Runner 2049 did not come up at all.
Well, that's probably a good thing.
Shows you the cultural relevance of that film. Me and history, we're friends. And we're always right.
Yeah.
We just don't tell everybody. Who am I kidding? I tell everybody that'll listen. So yeah, that was fun. And there's the usual things at the con. There's dealer rooms and there's playrooms and party rooms and that sort of thing. Did you enjoy your time?
I did. It was a mini con. It felt kind of like a mini Convergence.
Yeah, I think they usually get up around 400 these days, probably, tickets through the door.
Yeah. I think so, too.
So a Minnesota Fan Fest, basically.
Yeah, it wasn't quite...
I joke because I love. I kid.
It wasn't quite as crowded as Convergence.
Yeah.
And the panels, even when they were well-attended, seemed like about halfway full.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah.
Just a different feel than Convergence, I would say.
Yeah. I think we're different than a lot of people. At least I know I am, because I'm always surprised by people who don't even know that there are panels at a convention.
Right. Like, what else are you doing?
Yeah, that's kind of all I do.
Yeah.
Before I went to them for fun, and then when I became somebody who spoke on them, it's all I do.
Right.
Like when we go to Convergence, you're like, what are we going to do today? And I'm like, well, this is my schedule. And it's like,
Right.
talk here, go here, run this table, interview this person. And so it's, it's work, but it's fun work. And so it just takes a certain kind of person. I think that this is a con where the majority of people probably know about these panels and are there for that.
Yeah.
And so you get good discussions. I would have liked to have seen a little more representation.
Yes.
It's something that's always tough because there is never any shortage of white men over 45 who want to tell you all about their favorite hobbies.
Yes.
Or how long they've been doing this or that. And it's still kind of a problem. I know that Convergence specifically makes a point out of doing everything they can to secure diversity and gender parity on a panel.
Yes.
On representation by all walks of life. So for all Captain America fans, you're going to get somebody who has a different perspective simply because they're just a different person.
Right.
And it's not going to be 4 white guys who need to lose a little weight. I'm talking about myself in a Captain America T-shirt talking about this white guy with a star on his chest.
Right.
So,
yeah, it would have been nice to have seen some more ladies represented.
Yeah, that was kind of a problem. Although the con did honor Rachel Swirsky and Lyda Morehouse, who are both great authors.
Yes.
Lyda Morehouse, you can check out her stuff. Her Link Angel series, which is a cyberpunk series. And she also writes books as Tate Holloway.
Yes.
Which is more along the kind of fantasy kind of thing that you like.
Urban fantasy.
Yeah, urban fantasy.
Yeah.
And like romance. You haven't read any of her books, have you?
I haven't. I should try to
that.
check them out.
Like the Vampire Princess of St. Paul.
Yeah.
Check that out.
I should check that
Report
out.
back. Let's report some news. The big release this weekend, movie-wise or genre-wise, would be Ready Player One.
Yes.
Based on Ernest Cline's novel and directed by Steven Spielberg. Mm-hmm. It stars the Cyclops and Ben Mendelsohn, who, by the way, Ben, you did it, buddy. You made it. Now stop. Stop taking every role they give to you. We need a white guy who can wear a tie and yell at people, look kind of shifty. I'll call Mendo. Ring, ring. I think phones ring backwards in Australia, right?
Sure. Let's say yes.
G'day. And then, oh, Ben, we need you. Right. All right. Cheers. So anyway, that came out. It's doing pretty well. It made about $53 million stateside, and I think about 120 something worldwide, which is a success. Although we'll never know how successful unless we find out what the budget is, and we don't know what the budget is.
Oh.
But I think we can imagine.
Probably pretty high. Yeah.
And unlike a lot of movies, a lot of licensing money in this one.
Yeah.
If you've got the Iron Giant is riding on top of the DeLorean while the Millennium Falcon flies by. I mean, that's going to be, usually music is like, we got to pay that for that.
Right.
How much is Tom Sawyer? But now we've got that going on too. No review. We didn't see it.
No.
I told myself that I would see it if I didn't have to pay for it.
Okay.
Through screenings or whatever, and then I never really pursued that because I think unconsciously I don't really want to see it.
Well, I've heard mixed things. Like I've heard people who love it,
and it isn't really unconscious. Like I don't really want to see it.
Yeah.
Because I just know it's not. Even though in trying to be for me, it is not for me.
Sure.
Here I am talking about horror movies and a genre that I don't, find myself owning every DVD of a series or something like that. And yet I got a couple of movies I want to talk about because they really stuck out for me. Mm-hmm. And this is like Big Bang, the movie to me. I
have a friend on Facebook who says, don't go see it. It's by a garbage person, and it's garbage material and all this stuff. And
I don't know anything about Ernest Cline at all.
But it was just like garbage.
Okay, well we talked a lot. I was on a panel that talked about like the nature of criticism and like what qualifies somebody to be a critic. And in my opinion, it is a voice and audience and something to say. And garbage doesn't really seem like analysis to me.
I guess it's not. I'm thinking he doesn't like the author for whatever reason.
Probably because he had to read the book.
Maybe.
He made it through the book.
And doesn't support the franchise and
well,
is trying to get other people not to go.
I'm on board for all of that, but I'm not going to stop you. I mean, as Big Bang has proved, people enjoy references. And it's also, I guess, kind of exciting that Steven Spielberg is back behind the camera again, doing, he did the Post or whatever, but like doing
War
something
Horse.
that is, well, War Horse is around 10, 11 years ago now. But,
I know.
But just doing something, genre. Like he's doing a movie where E.T. will be flying around in the background.
Sure.
So, like for him, is it for him like, wow, this is weird?
I would think it'd be kind of weird.
And then, of course, Cyclops is like, oh, we have to enter the code. I'm amazed that when they finished rendering the movie, it didn't cause a singularity that just sucked all of Hollywood into it. But that has not happened. We'll keep you posted. So anyway, didn't really see it. I don't know. If we do see it, maybe we'll have more thoughts in the future. But if you liked it, great. Good news, it is doing pretty well. Mm-hmm. Although in this day of modern blockbusters, 53 has to look a little watery.
A little bit.
Would have wanted a little more, I think.
Probably.
We'll see if it has legs. Speaking of something that does have legs, 4 of them, and they are covered with velvety black fur. Black Panther is in its 7th week of release? 6th?
That
7th
sounds
week.
about right.
And it is in 3rd place, behind Ready Player One, of course, and Tyler Perry's Acrimony.
Oh.
I don't know.
Okay.
And it brought in $11 million, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
It's still going. Now, it was unseated last week by
Pacific Rim.
Right, which made like $25 million, I think.
Something like that.
Which is not, that's dropped off already, sadly.
Of course it has.
Del Toro, not having him, that was probably the key there. But this thing is still going. It will almost definitely, it's almost definitely going to, it's just a matter of time before it unseats Jurassic World for the 4th highest grossing movie of all time.
Absolutely.
And it's coming for Titanic.
Okay.
If it continues, even with this slow decline, if it continues at this rate through April, it'll unseat Titanic.
Okay.
And it'll be the 3rd largest movie ever.
I could see that happening.
I guess, adjusted for inflation.
I guess so.
I think Gone with the Wind is still up there if you do the inflation thing.
Huh. I could see that. It was a classic, and I could see it being popular at the time that it came out.
But not just at the time. Remember, they just re-release it over and over again. There are less
that's
films.
true.
Yeah, there's no home video, and so I think they really should just count initial theatrical run.
Yes.
Because when you re-release Ghostbusters at a midnight theater, that doesn't get added to Ghostbusters total, does it?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I wouldn't count on it.
It'd be cool.
Yeah.
Everybody swarm your local midnight movie theater the next time that Ghostbusters plays, and we'll see if we can get that guy up higher. Run a Ghostbusters marathon where we just watch it over and over and over and over again.
That'd be something.
That sounds horrible. So anyway, yeah, it's doing great. It's surpassed the Avengers
Okay.
now, so it is locked in.
All right.
No one could have predicted
No.
this, could they?
Mm-mm.
Before I went on to the superheroes panel at Minicon, I think I
Yes.
said to you, let's play how long it takes somebody to mention Black Panther.
Yes.
And there was
It did not take long.
No, and there was an oblique reference to it that consisted of basically oh, well, I loved it.
Uh-huh.
And then I was I was looking for you in the crowd, but you weren't looking at me. And I was like, all right, everybody buckle in. And I just basically made a comment that just jerked the wheel into, we're talking about Black Panther for at least 8 minutes here.
Right.
And we did, and we should.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that it's proving why things are going so well for the Marvel kids.
Yes.
But we'll save talking about Marvel kids for the end of the show.
Okay.
Call that a tease. Speaking of other comic book movies, what else are we looking at?
Comic book movies?
Fox looks like they've got something to tell you.
Oh,
Sit down.
yes.
I hope you're sitting
They've
down.
rearranged a lot of their schedule
Yeah.
for upcoming films. For example, X-Men Dark Phoenix was pushed back to 2019. It's now going to come out February 14th, 2019.
Valentine's Day.
Yes. How
A
romantic.
story of love
Yes.
and destroying an entire solar system.
Yes. It was originally going to be released on November 2nd, 2018.
Right. Which is weird.
So, is it weird?
Well, that November sort of spot is, I don't know, James Bond. I think.
Yeah.
I think Titanic came out then, now 21 years ago. But it's not it feels like a summer movie. Are they treating their X-Men films like sort of off blockbusters, sort of like alternate blockbusters?
I think they might be. But New Mutants also got pushed back.
Yeah.
And this is the second time. It got pushed back to summer, so August 2nd, 2019.
Right. No, that's the one I would put early. That's like a horror movie. I'd put that in February or March.
Well, it was originally scheduled for April 13th, 2018.
Okay. All right. April.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So we know what's behind that, right?
There have been reshoots and
for Dark Phoenix.
For Dark Phoenix and New Mutants, I think they're actually shooting new scenes.
Yeah.
And like with a new character.
Yeah, I heard that they were adding an entirely new character. So this is the second time. They've pushed it back a couple times, but this is the second time that they've once more gone back to the drawing board, if you will, and said we have to do this all over again. And I heard that it was that they were adding an entirely new character, and they also want to double down on the horror aspect. It's not just going to be like speaking of horror, superhero-ish tinged horror film. Isn't it coming out? You said August.
Yes, August 2nd.
Is that new information? Because I heard that it was coming out February 22nd of 2019.
I believe that is new information that's coming out August 2nd.
Yeah. I read it I was on Rotten Tomatoes. Father, forgive me. And I was looking at Rotten Tomatoes, and I thought that they had said that it's February of 2019. And that's oh, wait. No, I think you're right. We have breaking news. It was originally going to be February 2019, and now it is August. So that's correct. See, let me down again, Rotten Tomatoes. So yeah, they're adding an entirely new character. I would love it to be like Warlock.
That'd be cool.
Maybe he's the monster, or no, the monster's supposed to be the demon bear, I guess. But I don't know how you would do Warlock unless it was like Doug, the human, and then like Warlock comes out of him or he transforms into him or something like that.
I think that could work.
It'd be kind of weird.
It might be a little weird, but...
And it also wouldn't fit the tone because he's so fun and...
he's not scary.
He's a robotic fish or a techno-organic fish out of water. No, he is scary, but he's that kind of scary where it's like our scary.
Okay.
He's terrifying. He's a big, sparky man with eyes that are two different sizes. He's drawn by Bill Sienkiewicz. But he's like, oh, what do friend say? What is fork or whatever?
Oh, my goodness.
So it's fun. You've read the Demon Bear Saga.
Yes, I have.
And the debut of Warlock. And then, Dark Phoenix, I think they have to do reshoots like any movie does, but when you've got Jessica Chastain and Michael Fassbender and James McAvoy, you can't just get those. You can't just call them up like you can Ben Mendelsohn,
right?
And get him to come right back to set. So
you have to plan it out.
Yeah, got problems.
Fox is. I don't know if we want to talk about this exactly or not, but they're rescheduling other films as well, including the Bohemian Rhapsody, the Freddie Mercury pick.
Push that up.
Yeah, that's coming out. It was originally coming out December 25th. Now it's coming out November 2nd.
Oh, okay. That seems like a good spot for that.
Yeah. And Dexter Fletcher took over for Bryan Singer.
Right.
So apparently the film's been testing well.
Can Rami Malek sing?
I don't know. That's
a good question. He can't
sing
like Freddie Mercury.
Right.
And I mean like sing. I don't mean like, oh, Oscar Isaac is a musician. Okay. I've seen YouTube videos of him like singing, and it's like it's clearly just he's in a band. I know he's in a band. Shh, for a second. He's clearly just very good looking.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit of John Hamm's character from 30 Rock, I think, in that nobody's ever said the same amount of panties fly on the stage for him as they do for Engelbert Humperdinck or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, nobody has the heart to tell him, or nobody knows that he's just...
he's okay.
Yeah, he's all right.
Yeah.
He's okay.
Yeah.
Insert famous, recent, boyish... Well, not boy bands, but I mean, emo band that's all right, but the girls are really... All American Rejects. There you go.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, whoa. You went
I
right
like
in
All
on that
American
one.
Rejects.
Okay, yeah. Nobody's got the heart to tell them that, you're just kind of okay.
That's true.
So anyway, big shoes to fill.
Yeah. Huge shoes to fill.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how big his feet were, but his heart was gigantic.
Yes.
So we'll see. I'm sure he'll be fine. He's pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good actor.
Mm-hmm.
Remember seeing him in The Pacific.
Yes. And he was good in that,
Yes.
although annoying.
And it was a bold, looking back, it was a bold choice. It was a brave performance by him, because when he went on to do other things, Mr. Robot, clearly.
Right.
Until Dawn, the video game? Actually, I'm not sure. He's been in a ton of stuff. He's like, he's that really weird bug-eyed guy from the Pacific.
Yes.
Where all the other German-Irish heroes and the John Bernthals get to be like, oh, just got to take my BDU shirt off. I'm so hot. And it's like,
right.
Oh, give me that canteen. Glug, glug, glug. Ooh, I was running down. So hot in the Pacific. I might have watched the wrong video. And then he's like, what's going on? You're like, whoa. This guy's a weirdo.
He was just a little bit off.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to achieve leading man status after that. But he's playing Freddie Mercury.
Yes.
Walking sex.
Yes, and charismatic as hell.
Yeah, so that turned out okay for him.
Yes.
Why do they always say when a woman is topless in a movie, it's like, oh, she's just brave. It's such a brave performance. And then I call playing a character that's like completely creepy and like not attractive at all and might get you creepy roles. I'm sure he's turned down plenty of creepy roles.
I'm sure he has.
On the way up to Mr. Robot, which has a creepy element. He's brave. I think that shows a real divide between the kind of roles that are offered to men and the kind of roles that are offered to women.
I agree. And also says something about women's sexuality as opposed to men's sexuality. And
is that this show?
No, it's not this show.
Could be.
But you're right. I mean, women are always said to be brave when they go topless, and they're also more likely to be nominated for an Oscar, it seems like.
For going topless?
It seems like.
If that were true, like Tracy Lords would be the Academy president.
I guess Ava Green would be up there, too.
She would be Queen Empress of Hollywood.
Yes, she would.
Ava the First. Is that this show? For 2 minutes, that's going to be this show.
Okay.
Let's keep going.
All right.
Yeah, and Ava Green, somebody who, unless there's something wrong with my eyes, or maybe my eyes are looking in the wrong place, is, I think, very talented. Like,
she is very talented.
And we've got so many years left with her. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's going to be, I think, continue to be great, for the rest of her career.
Yeah.
And yet, yeah, you're right. Like, it's at the drop of a hat.
Yep.
No, Ava, this is Sesame Street. I'm teaching them to count to 2.
Oh, no.
She's got a good American accent. But anyway, yeah, that is weird.
Yeah. It's a weird thing that we seem to be okay with in America.
Yeah. Jeez, America. Only we're not okay with it because
we're prudes.
Yeah, they would cut to a scene where they're recreating the Omaha Beach D-Day scene from Private Ryan on Sesame Street.
Right.
And Ernie's guts are coming out.
Oh,
Bert's
God.
like, just stay with me. Stay with me.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay, we have another story? I got a story I want to break. Good news! Good news, everyone.
Yes?
Fantastic Four is returning to publication.
I know.
This summer for Marvel Comics.
In August.
We never thought this would happen.
I know.
I mean, it would have happened eventually.
Eventually, but...
It's going to be written by Dan Slott. Let me finish. Actually, that's it. It's going to be written by Dan Slott. And illustrated by Sarah Pichelli.
Yes.
I think I was talking about this at the superhero panel, even though it's supposed to be movie superheroes. Talked about the comics a little bit. And I think that this is a sign that we're looking good as far as the Fox-Disney merger is going.
Yes, I think you're absolutely right.
Because, and it's sad and it's cynical, but they canceled Fantastic Four because they couldn't make movies about it.
Yep.
Which is the stupidest thing I can think of.
Yep.
And they're all going to get their reward in the end for that. But if they're bringing it back, what does that mean?
It means that they're going to be making movies.
Michael B. Jordan should stay by his phone.
That's right.
No, it's too late. They'll have to reboot the entire thing, but that's fine. So yeah, great news. I think that they are serious about this. They could have easily just put, well, they would have put Bendis on it. They absolutely would have put Bendis on it, but he's not there anymore.
Yeah.
And so they put Dan Slott, who is controversial to some, but he is a guy that does long runs.
Like, he's getting off a decade-long run on Spider-Man,
yes.
apparently.
And he is somebody who he has a lot of ideas, and that's always better than probably Michael Bendis having conversations that are 25 word balloons and don't go anywhere. And then Sarah Pichelli, who has got to be pretty expensive.
Yeah.
You know? Like, she's in demand, she's hot, she's a great artist, and she doesn't do a lot of work because she doesn't have to. You know, she could probably do whatever she wants. And so getting her to be on this book, I think, is a really big deal.
Yeah.
So I am absolutely looking forward to this. I will absolutely buy it. Might buy a couple and pass them around. And listeners, if you want to see more of the Fantastic Four and show Marvel that you support them, I think you should do it too.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
let's cast Fantastic Four, the reboot, right now.
Oh, boy.
Jessica Chastain is Sue Storm.
Okay.
So keep the blonde hair from Dark Phoenix.
Okay.
And you go, it's too old. She's supposed to be old. She's a mother of at least one baby, if not two.
Yes.
She's an adult woman. Why are you terrified of that?
Good question.
I say,
let's see.
Go. Okay, so they went black with Johnny Storm.
Yes.
Make Reed black.
Okay.
Don't give me that Idris Elba. He's in too much stuff.
Oh.
So we need a great older black actor who can play Reed Richards. Has not appeared in the Marvel Universe yet, which shouldn't be a problem. Not a lot of black people. You don't have to work. I'll work on that. You work on
Denzel. You think we could get Denzel?
We don't need like Grant. He'll be. He can play Franklin, Reed's father. Or
okay.
Whatever. Yeah, he can play the grandpa.
Okay.
You do Johnny Storm.
Okay. Johnny Storm. Who's hot and up and coming?
Who's hot and up and coming? I guess Sterling K. Brown he's out.
Okay.
Right?
I guess so.
I'm just thinking about Reed Richards still.
Yeah.
Kid brother. To Sue Storm.
Sue Storm.
You're not very good at this.
I'm not very good at this at all.
We'll just poach all the X-Men actors. How about Ty Sheridan? No.
Okay.
No. Bad.
No.
Well, because you're not very good at this, this bit is now closed.
Oh, gosh.
You've done a
Great.
horrible job.
I failed.
Yeah. If we go a little younger, Daniel Kaluuya as Reed Richards. What do you think?
Okay.
Right?
Sure.
You don't know who that is.
No, I don't.
Get Out.
Okay.
Just say, I don't know who that is.
All right.
Yeah, Get Out. And then we can get, what's his name? The gross guy to play Johnny Storm. What if they went against type with Johnny Storm and instead of like ladies pulling up in the convertible, he pulls up in an Uber, and is having a fight with the Uber driver as he gets out, and it's scraggly, red-haired, chin pubes, and he's got like a scarf on.
Oh, God.
Right? You know the guy I'm talking about.
Yes, I know exactly who you're talking about. He's in Twin Peaks, too.
Yeah, he was in the new Twin Peaks. Oh, man. He's got a weird name, too. I can't remember his name. It's like 3 names.
Yeah.
Jones or something like that. But anyway, I think he's good, but he's definitely like
he's creepy.
He took that card that Rami Malek dropped and
Yes.
picked it up and just ran with it.
Absolutely.
He's like,
and that's how he's getting paid.
You need a weirdo? I will be your weirdo.
Yes.
For money.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's him. I'm excited, and I don't know, if you have any ideas, listeners, about who could be in the new Fantastic Four cast, let us know on Twitter at JustEnoughTrope, and I'll try to finish mine off.
Okay.
What if they're all different races?
Okay.
How does it make sense? Who cares?
Yeah.
Let's make it cool.
Yeah.
We got it.
Yeah.
Any other news?
Yes, actually. Amazon has a huge deal in the works.
I know what you're talking about.
Yep.
I heard about this.
Going to spend maybe $1 billion to adapt a Chinese sci-fi novels.
Yeah.
This is a huge trilogy in China. It's Lu Qian's successful sci-fi trilogy called Remembrance of Earth's Past.
Right, yeah.
Also known as the Three-Body Problem.
Yeah. It's the Three-Body Problem is the first book in the series, and it's Lu Cixin.
Okay.
And yeah, I have not read these books. I actually have Three-Body Problem, and it's one of those, it's I think at number 25 in the pile of 50 books.
Okay.
By my bed.
Sure.
But yeah, great. Won the Hugo Award. Everybody's been talking about it for a long time, and so this is exciting. I don't know if you talked about this fact, but they're looking to spend about $1 billion.
Yeah.
And that's just the number. That's something they put in an article, so I'm not sure if that's... I mean, the rights alone can't be $1 billion, right?
I wouldn't think so.
We're talking like rights, production, development, promotion. Yeah. So it's really cool. It's also very unique because they're getting it. He's a Chinese national. He's a Chinese man,
right?
But he goes all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like we're getting this it literally is a Chinese book. It's not just set,
right?
In a sort of
in China,
yeah, or space, I guess.
Right.
So that's neat. We go from we're going to spend $1 billion on this guy from Oxford and his white people who have to fight the darker people. Oh, those darker people! They hate the sun and jobs and working. I don't know. And we're going from that to we'll do your Chinese super space Chinese book.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty cool.
Well, apparently they've been looking for international titles to make into TV shows, that sort of thing. So,
and sci-fi, we've been rewatching The Expanse recently.
Yes.
Sci-fi did such a great job with The Expanse, but they're such a just poorly run company. I have no idea if they are making a dime or any profit off The Expanse. I know they certainly aren't promoting it very well because nobody seems to know that it exists.
And it's so good.
Yeah, and they're really missing out. This is the new Battlestar Galactica. This is the new what have you. And maybe Amazon saw that and went, okay, we got to do that.
Yeah.
They don't know what they've got there.
Mm-hmm.
And so let's kind of do our own thing. And I think that hopefully this will be something like that.
Yeah. And Expanse is streaming on Amazon right now.
On Amazon Prime.
Yes.
If you want to watch The Expanse, it's on Amazon Prime. And it comes back in April.
Okay.
Yeah, this month.
Oh, wow.
When exactly? I don't know. But it does come back this month. And so, I would say that's our show pick of the week.
Yeah, for sure.
Check out The Expanse, dummy, if you haven't already. It's one of those shows. Now we're doing an Expanse rewatch review. It's one of those shows where when I first watched it, I knew that, this is for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it was they're so good at building their world, and they're so good at not telling you what's going on and explaining it in that way that you want them to, that I missed a lot of stuff from the first couple episodes. You just get it by Stockholm Syndrome, basically.
Yeah.
Like eventually you go, okay, I know who Holden is. I know who, Naomi and these characters are.
Right.
But when it's like The Wire. I remember love The Wire, as all white people should, one of my favorite shows. But the first 4 or 5 episodes are a complete hurricane of ideas, and I can't even really tell you. I know that McNulty goes and watches some drug guy get off at a trial. He gets mad and he goes to Daniels or whatever, and that's where the idea for the unit starts to come together. But I can barely tell you. Before you, yada, 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 Lester's painting furniture. Like, that's
right.
That's all I can tell you. And it's the same thing with The Expanse. Like, I just couldn't even recount to you. I know what happened, but I don't know how it happened. And we're going back and watching it, and I'm going, oh, it rewards a rewatch, because it's like, yeah, okay, and then they did that, and then that leads them to do this.
Yes.
And this is where, Amos starts to not like Holden, and then we see their, relationship kind of change or whatever, and it makes more sense.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a mark off on the producers of the show, but it's kind of like, shouldn't you get that the first time around? But then again,
there's so much information.
Yeah.
I feel like you're kind of drinking from the fire hose.
Yeah, if you like it, you think, I've got it. Go back and watch at least the first couple episodes again, and you'll be impressed at how consistently high they've kept the production standards. You look at, an episode late in the second season, and it's like, wow, how did they do that? But you'll have moments like that in the beginning. Even for settings that are just being set up, no spoilers, but they're being set up, and then we're not going to go back there for a while, if ever again. They don't skimp on it. Like, it's all fully realized and really great.
Yeah. And I couldn't remember. I thought Holden said, remember the can't, and he never did. And it's something that just got started on its own. So. Yep.
You forgot.
I forgot.
Who remembered the can't first.
Exactly.
Yeah. There are a lot of directors. This one is the best.
Yes.
Why?
Because they voted for him.
Who are they?
The Academy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And the Academy got together and went, it's time.
Yep.
It's time for that Fishman bestiality movie.
That's right.
Let's get this going. And also, it's a movie that's reminiscent of how great Hollywood was and still is. The magic of movies, 30s, 40s, 50s film, the silver screen.
Yep.
That's why it won.
Mm-hmm.
Not because Guillermo del Toro isn't the best director, although he's not. Instead, Hollywood wanted to have sex with itself so badly that it gave Best Picture to a movie about a lady having sex with a fish.
Yep.
And if they had put an old-timey matinee star in there, it would have been even better.
That's true.
This is where I put my Clark Sable joke that I think I explained previously is technically a joke.
Yes.
But it's not funny. You can succeed at something and still fail. So, Clark Sable. Anyway, TM. Yeah, I want to talk about Guillermo del Toro, but I want to do it through the lens of one of his slightly older films.
All right.
That we watched recently and give our thoughts on it.
Yep.
And that movie is called Crimson Peak.
Yes. This peak. So crimson.
It's got some crimson.
Yeah.
And that plays into... Actually, it really doesn't. There's a couple things that don't really play into anything, but... Can you give me like the 100-word synopsis of what goes on in Crimson Peak?
Okay. Mia. I always get lost because I can never say her last name.
Well, I can't either, and I'm going to say it right once so I can mess it up for the rest of the show.
All right.
It's Wasikowska.
Wasikowska.
Yes.
It's a mouthful. She is a writer. She falls in love
Kind of. She wants to be a writer.
Yes. She's written a manuscript.
In Buffalo, New York, 1887.
Yes. She falls in love with Tom Hiddleston's character, he's something Sharp. What is his first name? I can't remember his first name.
He's a baronet.
Yes.
Yes. And he is a amateur, aspiring industrialist.
Yes. He has a machine that digs up the clay, the red clay, Crimson Peak. And he has a sister played by Jessica Chastain, whose name is Lucille. I'm pretty sure.
I don't care about Lucille anymore.
Yeah.
What else?
Her father gets killed in a mysterious way.
He mysteriously bashed his own head into a sink 18 times.
Exactly. I think it's been a murder.
Yeah. Wait. 50 minutes in, this guy was murdered.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they move back to...
She marries Tom Hiddleston. I don't know if you said. Yeah.
She marries Tom Hiddleston, and they move back...
Witchy-wacky.
Yes. They move back to his estate, which is...
In merry old England.
In England, outside of London. And it's a place called Crimson Peak.
It's called Aylesbury Hall or something like that. Or Ailes... something.
Yeah.
But everybody calls it Crimson Peak.
Because of the red clay.
Yes, that shows up. Yeah. When it snows, did you know when it snows, the peak becomes red and the blood in the house can be seen? Baby! Anyway, yeah. And so the red earth seeps up through the snow and turns it red. It's a visual thing.
It is.
It, like a lot of things in this movie, makes no sense.
No.
But are done for a visual effect. So what happens when they get to the house?
Well,
don't spoil anything. We'll spoil stuff in a little bit.
They get to the house and
it's haunted. Now let's talk about the movie. Yeah, it's haunted.
Exactly.
I mean, you can't really go any farther than that.
No.
Something's going on here.
Yes. And what it is ain't exactly clear.
Obvious.
Or
clear. It's more muddy and red.
Red.
Dumb. Yeah. Crimson Peak.
Yes.
A love letter. Is he ever not making love letters?
I don't think so.
What would he make if he wasn't making... Let's look. I'm going to pull up his filmography right now, and you vamp a little bit.
All right. So it's haunted by these ghosts, and they're all red. And I was thinking about this the other day. Are they all red because they're buried in the red clay, and so their ghosts are red?
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Okay.
Because you forgot the most important thing.
What's that?
Mia sees ghosts.
Yes, she does. Ghosts are real.
Yeah, in this movie, yeah. Here's your terrifying movie. Are ghosts real? Yes, ghosts are real.
Yes, they are.
Do you have any other questions? Or
right.
Okay, here comes Loki. Yeah, ghosts are just a solid fact.
Yes.
She's been seeing him her entire life. Her mother died of like cholera or something.
Yes.
And her mother comes to her as a ghost in the beginning of the movie and goes, "Beware, Crimson Peak." And she's all black. And I've read that it's supposed to be like disease, or did they say that she had the black cholera? I don't think that's a thing.
Maybe they did.
That's a hat on a hat. We get it. She's a ghost.
Yeah.
And later on we see red ghosts, and the whole thing is like she wakes up in this house and sees ghosts, and it's supposed to be like scary or like, ooh, is this real? Is somebody gaslighting her? Are ghosts real? She knows ghosts are real.
Yes.
So what does she do? She should either question her own sanity, or just be Jennifer Love Hewitt and be, all right, this is kind of a weird thing, but like ghosts are real and I see them and sometimes they tell me stuff, and so these ghosts have been telling me that there's bad news going on. Yeah. She never acts on the information.
No, she doesn't.
And yet she's somebody who has literally experienced a haunting. She has seen and been talked to ghosts.
Yes.
And she just puts it off because that's what happens in a movie like this.
Yes.
And that's why I wonder why she had to see the ghost at the beginning, why we even needed the warning, which gets delivered and then gets paid off about a little over halfway through the movie when she's already moved into the house. Mm-hmm. She's already married Tom Hiddleston, and he just offhandedly, almost like we forgot to shoot this scene and we had to go call Tom. No, not Mendo, Tom. Get him back here. We got to shoot this scene. And he's like, oh, yeah, the house is called Crimson Peak. And she's like, what?
Right.
Oh, the snow and the stuff. It's called Crimson Peak. Dun dun.
Yes.
No, too late, movie. It's too late. We're already here. We're
it's like
deep
it's
in
like
this already.
Wait a minute. My mother, who's a ghost, told me to beware of this place.
Yeah. Why didn't you look? I need to, from now on. I'm going to learn the name of somebody's house before I get married.
That's
it's a
right.
rule with me. I'm sorry. Love me. Love my dumb rule. So looking at his filmography, I would say that his best movies, in my opinion, are the ones that are homaging nothing.
Okay.
Like, what does Pan's Labyrinth homage?
I don't know.
Nothing
Fairy
really.
tales?
It's a fairy tale itself. And it is sort of about like the telling of fairy tales. I think The Devil's Backbone, also just kind of a ghost movie.
Yeah.
But all of his other movies are kind of pastiches of other stuff. Crimson Peak is his love letter to gothic horror.
Mm-hmm.
seen evidenced in the film by, I don't know, open your eyes, everything.
Right.
But also the fact that Edith's character is, her last name's Cushing.
Yes.
Which is clearly a reference to Peter Cushing and Hammer horror films, which this is, drawing off of. Things like, was it Corman's House of the Fall of the House of Usher? I think that's a real big thing there, brother-sister relationship. Or, and like the Vincent Pricey type character, which we kind of lack in this. There is no Vincent Price type character.
No.
But it doesn't matter. I guess you could say Jessica Chastain, kind of.
Kind of.
Pacific Rim is an ode to both kaiju films and, what do you call Ultraman type films? Like Super Sentai? Is that team movie only? Anyway.
I don't know.
Japanese superhero films, right?
Yes.
Hellboy's just an adaptation. Mimic is like creature feature type films,
sure,
that sort of thing, and like Kronos is a vampire movie, basically.
Okay.
So you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like there are plenty of unoriginal filmmakers who are our best filmmakers.
Yes.
But I just don't. For a guy who's supposed to be, he's known for his imagination. He's drawing on a lot of things. Everything is a remix. I watch the videos too on YouTube, but this is just remixing like a lot of stuff.
Right.
And I really wonder what he would come up with if he was coming up with his own stuff. Looks like two of his best films.
Right.
So I don't know. What do you think? As you watched it, did you get into the groove of the references to Gothic horror? Did it feel like a spooky, scary, darkness descends upon the thriller world?
It felt like a scary movie to me.
Cut that out.
It felt like a scary movie to me.
You were scared.
I was freaked out. I didn't like the ghosts that much. But they were kind of like obvious ghosts. Like,
isn't that a Jenny Slate movie?
Yeah.
No, that's the sequel. It's about her baby.
Oh, come on. That's harsh.
Continue.
But they, would lead her to where clues would be and would warn her about certain things. And
that's why I was never scared by the ghosts, because it was an honest ghost, that let me tell you.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't afraid.
They were trying to warn her.
I didn't ever feel like the ghosts, they were never going after her.
No.
I was afraid of the undropped shoes that, without spoiling anything, sort of already exist in the house that we see.
Yes.
And, did you see my shoe comment?
Yes, I did.
Did you? Oh, I slipped it in there.
Yes.
Do you want to tell people about my shoe thing? It's not my shoe thing.
Well, Guillermo del Toro has kind of a shoe fetish type
It's not
thing.
a fetish. I'm not saying a fetish, because if we go below the knees and we start talking about filmmakers, we're like, oh, Quentin Tarantino. He's like, give me that feet. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that in several of his films, I've noticed a fixation
on shoes.
He's making a point of shooting shoes and having them be important. And then I was just basing this on Shape of Water.
Yeah.
And Pacific Rim.
Yeah.
But it's not like I'm an expert and I've seen all of his movies a million times. And I did watch Kronos recently, just kind of because I wanted to talk about it on this show. And there's no shoes in it.
Okay, I was going to ask.
Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. There aren't any shoes in this, really.
There's one close-up on her shoes, but it's kind of just showing where she's hiding something.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's really trying to focus in on her shoes or not.
Yeah. Let's should we give our recommendations and then we'll move into the next thing?
Okay.
All
right. I would recommend not seeing this.
Don't see it?
Don't see it. It's scary, but it's not like the scariest film I've ever seen. I think maybe Guillermo del Toro is capable of making things scarier than this as well.
Yeah. I was not impressed by it. I was impressed by the costumes.
The costumes, I think, got an award.
Costumes are next level.
Yeah.
They did win Best Costumes.
Yes.
Award, which I think it deserved. How many Charlie Hunnam movies you want to rack up?
I don't
Although
know.
apparently Lost City of Z is good, but I'm like, fool me a million times. Come on, I'm not watching another Charlie Hunnam movie. Yeah, it's, I don't know what to say. If you like classic Gothic horror, see it, but even then, it's okay.
It's all right.
It's okay. Not for me. Mm-hmm. Not for me. Let's talk for maybe 5 minutes or so. So if you don't want to get spoiled on the rest of this movie, just clip ahead 5 minutes or so. I promise to try to get as close to that as I can.
Okay.
Let's talk about some spoilery kind of things. We talked before about how sanguine she is about these ghosts.
Mm-hmm.
That's a blood joke. Yeah, and how that doesn't really... It just sort of, for me, arrests the plot, or at least makes what's really going on here clear the entire time. Not every movie has to be a twist situation, but in a mystery, spooky, scary kind of movie, you're not supposed to know, oh, they killed all those ladies and they're doing each other from like 10 minutes into the film.
Right.
You're not supposed to know that.
No.
There's supposed to be some plausible deniability.
Yeah.
And it's just clear, and it just makes Wishy-Washy look like an idiot.
Yes.
Which they never really say that she's really smart. I guess her book's
That's
good.
True.
And I never got...
She wears glasses.
That means she's smart.
Yep.
Even in the 1800s, it means you're smart. And I never got until I saw this in a review somewhere that like the whole thing is she wrote the book. Because at the very end, the credits, when you see the title, it's like the title on a book. And so this is the story that she wrote.
Oh. I never got that.
Yeah, who cares?
I mean, she
criticize
did say
the
it was
ending.
a ghost story. The ending is... It's an ending.
That's not a good criticism.
It's kind of predictable, and I mean, she ends up killing Jessica Chastain, and Chastain is like, she has this line where it's like, it's either going to be you or me.
No, Jessica Chastain, because I guess they don't want to go full like crazy. Like, she's not going to be full on ghoul. The entire movie, she's been incredibly reserved. She's been an ice queen. We get one thing where she throws some scrambled eggs around, and we see that she's got rage in her. But then why not let her out off the chain for the finale and have her be like unhinged? And instead she's just like, and I'm going to kill you, and that'll be, she's like more calculating, and once she kills Loki, she kind of goes off the rails a little bit. But yeah, she's got this, they're underplaying it when they should overplay it.
Yeah.
You should deliver a line like, this isn't over until I kill you or you kill me. You should deliver it like that, not like, this isn't over until I kill you or you kill me. I thought he was scarier. And then she says it again, just so Witchy Wazowski can beat her to death with a shovel and go, I heard you the first time. It's like, whoa, James Bond.
Right.
Has come to Crimson Peak. Why? Also, did you just taunt a dead body? I mean, I guess they all turn into ghosts. So maybe in the afterlife, she's like, good one. That was a good one. But that just... I've never seen Vincent Price do that after killing a vampire. Stick around. How do you like your steak? That doesn't fit in a movie where there are scene transitions with irising.
Right.
Where it does a Looney Tunes iris in on somebody's face and we go to the next scene. What?
It was comedic, and I don't think that was his intention.
Well, the entire thing is, outsized and sort of silly and histrionic. I just thought, if that's what you're going for, do more.
Right.
Everybody's standing around being so cool and British and stuff like that. And it's like, no, go as far as you have to. Make it huge.
Sure.
Make it crazy. Let's hide the recordings that explain everything that happened.
The wax cylinders.
Right here. Let's keep
in
them all
the closet.
Together. Yeah.
Yes. Keep them all together by all the dead ladies.
And let's let our house bleed. Just excuse my bloody house.
Yes.
Which is clearly like a reference to, I guess, the house that dripped blood. But that's the movie that we're in. We're in a movie where somebody in puffy sleeves that are 6 feet wide, they couldn't fit through a door, is taking tea from a woman who's pouring it next to a giant Smucker's jellies and jams thing of blood coming down the wall. And like nobody's paying attention to that. That's where we are.
Yes.
That's the kind of movie that this the world that we exist in, and I didn't think that it nearly tried to inhabit that enough.
And the tea should have a big skull and crossbones on it because it's poison.
No, she should take the bottle of tea down, from the thing and then put it on the counter, and it says bergamot or whatever on the label, but it's starting to peel back, and then we see part of a skull or a Mr. Yuck sticker.
Yes.
The yuck means don't drink, kids. Yeah, I don't. Crimson peaked. That's what I have to say.
Yeah.
Well, I guess our 5 minutes are up. I want to talk about Del Toro, my Del Toro theory.
Okay.
So, I watched Kronos.
Yes.
It's his first film. I believe it was a Mexican production, although Ron Perlman is in it, and some of it's in English.
Okay.
It was 1993, and the entire thing it's very highly rated on Rotten Tomatoes. Now, I don't know if those are retroactive reviews, or I know that it was always held up as a thing, even before Del Toro became the best director. People said oh yeah, this is a great modern horror, indie horror type film.
Okay.
It's all right.
All right.
It's fine.
Okay.
And I realized something. It has everything that he's got in all of his movies, even now, today. He has been making the same movie over and over again since 1993. So first of all, here's something you can forgive. The TV lighting. It's just not lit well. He's probably really happy he finally made it to Hollywood and can get a real cinematographer to get these. Because you look at, all his movies look great. And even Crimson Peak has got this amazing set. They built this whole house and everything, and it's the reds and the greens, and sure, that all works. But it's got all the same elements, or at least very similar elements. There is a kindly old man. Mm-hmm. There is a golden steampunk device, that has dark implications. There is body horror. There is specifically hand trauma, which you pointed out takes place in Crimson Peak for sure. But he seems to like hand trauma.
Happens in Shape of Water as well. Yeah.
There's a lot of green lighting. There is, like I said, it's basically a vampire story. Mm-hmm. So we're getting started on that already. The old man has a little granddaughter. So already we're getting the idea of seeing it through the eyes of a child protagonist. The little girl looks like a Dora the Explorer. She's a little brunette, ding, 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 with bangs, ding, 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 who doesn't talk at all. She has no lines. Big old ding.
Great.
Mix it up a little.
Yes.
Jeez.
It's he has the same cards and he
Uno,
plays
trick,
them.
pony.
Yeah.
Yeah, unless you're doing a Pacific Rim. But even then, I think the Pacific Rim shows his lack of scripting prowess. He just doesn't. It's fine to work with a screenwriter, and I know that he has, but I'm just saying David Fincher doesn't go out and write these things.
Right.
He gets with somebody and goes, "This is a great story. It's Benjamin Button." Just kidding. And let's make this. And I'm going to make the hell out of my end, right? So you bring me the best story, and then we'll put this thing together.
Right.
But he's he's so inventive and imaginative. Not really. And it's one thing if you're playing in fairy tale land where the plots are basic and you've got an evil stepmother and you've got a kindly old, whatever, and you've got a young ingenue. You get these tropes.
Yes.
And maybe you can subvert them where you can, but I just feel like he's doing the same thing. Ron Perlman is in Kronos as, you guessed it, a boorish American stooge that works for, in this case, a company, but a company, a government, the government man who is rude and venal and yep, seen that.
Right. Michael Shannon in Shape of Water.
Yeah. Michael Shannon must be allergic to makeup.
You think so?
Yeah, because shouldn't he be eating all of the Ron Perlman lunches?
Yes.
Because he's basically get out of here, old man. I'm playing the corporate stooge now. That's a horrible person. What's that? No, I'm not putting that nose on. Forget it. I get rashes. Not doing that. No, I don't know if that's true. What do you think?
I think that a lot of his films tell similar stories, like you said, and
well, I think that's where you can get. I disagree. I think I think I know what you're trying to say, but the specifics of what you're saying, you're not going to want to fight with that because they are different stories. It is a boy from hell. It is a faun who is helping a little girl in Franco, Spain. You know, it is a deaf woman who loves a fish man, Clark Sable.
Right.
Those you know the particulars, the what the plot dresses in, the costume the plot wears is different. But I feel like
that's true.
The plot is kind of the same.
Yeah. I don't think he's the best director, and I don't think The Shape of Water should have won Best Film.
Right.
Either.
I can't think of anything that he does as a director that would make him the best.
I can't really either.
Like, what is it?
I don't know. I mean,
just holding it all together?
I guess so.
If you're going to give, say, Wes Anderson the best director, you do it because you've been won over by the symmetry of his frames, you know, or his dolly moves or whatever it is.
Right.
Or also just he put together this movie about this hotel.
Right.
And people really like it. And so I guess that's, you know, people just really like Shape of Water, and so he's the best director. But my thing is like, that's called the best picture.
Yes.
That's called the best screenplay or what have you. I don't understand why he's the best director.
I don't understand it either.
But he is the best director.
Yes, he is.
I still think he should get involved in this Amazon Lord of the Rings TV show.
Oh, yeah?
Here's your new crack at it. You know what I mean? Like, put your money where your mouth is. You know, worked on The Hobbit, but didn't get to see it all the way through. And if you really like this stuff, he's done TV. He's already a successful TV producer. So I think it would be a get for Amazon, and they know they're getting somebody who knows what they're doing. I want to see him succeed. I just don't like anything he's done up to this point. You know, we should be mortal enemies, and I want him to succeed, but I just only like a couple of his films, and they're not what everybody holds up. Well, I mean, it's not the one he won the best director for.
Right.
I want to see Michael Shannon fight Doug Jones.
Okay.
You think Doug Jones is skinny, right? But he's got some reach.
I'm not sure if I know who Doug Jones is.
He's the Shape of Water.
Oh, he's the fish guy.
He's Clark Sable. He's Lieutenant Commander Saru on Star Trek Discovery.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I kind of wonder who would win. Michael Shannon?
Well, okay, we just did this, but we'll rewind. You'd say Michael Shannon, right?
Yeah.
He's got that Irish gene, but Doug Jones, tall. He's got reach. He's got leverage.
That's true.
And he's agile, too. He's fast. You wouldn't think that a
true.
6'7" or however tall he is guy could slip a punch like that. He'll duck right under and then come at you. Like a spider monkey with a pituitary problem.
Oh, my goodness.
Anything else to say about Guillermo del Toro before I rip into modern horror as it stands?
I think that
The best director.
He's got a lot of common themes going through his work. I wish I liked him more as well. I liked the exhibit, the museum exhibit of his stuff that we saw. I thought that was pretty fascinating.
Yeah, I'd like to burn it.
Really?
I'd like to burn all of it. I'd like to find his house that because he has a second house that he keeps all that stuff in.
Yeah.
I'd like to burn that house.
Oh my gosh.
And like, not because I want to take all that stuff away from him. Do you know what I mean? I want him to stop using his crutches. I want him to stop. He's the Dan Harmon of horror movies. You know what I mean? Of classic horror. Because it's all referential now. I think I'm realizing, or maybe just coming up with my own theory. I think it's all referential. I'd love to see what he did if he just sat down with this is kind of like The Thing, or this is like something from Weird Tales. Forget all that. Just make something. You know?
Sure.
See where you go with it. Also, I want to as a performance art thing, I want to half melt. No, I want to dress his H.P. Lovecraft statue up in blackface. I want to blackface his H.P. Lovecraft statue and see how many different sides of picketers. We've never seen the right and left picketers get together before.
Oh, my gosh.
The NAACP is holding hands with the KKK, and they're coming for you.
Oh, my gosh.
Everyone's mad at you. Well, let me make you more mad at me. I think modern horror is in trouble.
Oh, boy.
I think it's been in trouble for a while. I think that we've got a problem. I think horror is not looking good. And just for the record, I'm not even talking about the found footage genre, which is, most of horror right now.
Sure.
Even legitimate films, quote unquote legitimate, like I want to give it to like Sinister, right?
Sure.
Creepy. There's a ghosty type thing, but it even like uses found footage. It jams a found footage movie into a writer ghost, maybe going crazy type movie.
Mm-hmm.
So it's chocolate. It's poop in our chocolate.
Oh,
I thought that was peanut butter.
Gross.
It's poop. But I'm not even talking about that. Forget Paranormal Activity, whatever. Horror in general is in trouble.
Okay.
I haven't seen a good horror movie in a while. You?
It's been a while. I would say that the witch, the Vivitch, was pretty good though.
Yeah, and again, you always go to the end. Think about if we established
Skipping to the end.
how bad hipster horror movies are, and then we dropped Robert Eggers, who has the biggest beard you've ever seen. He is, and he's got a bow tie and suspenders, and he's writing on a penny farthing. He's about as hip as you can get. And he delivered out of nowhere an amazing film like The Witch. Yeah, The Witch is great. But in general, it's these pencil-necked geeks, these hipster geeks, that are giving us crappy movies.
Sure. What are some of the crappy movies that you've seen lately?
Everything that everybody holds up as great isn't. And honestly, they aren't really holding it up.
Okay.
Some people like it. Enthusiasts like it. Generally, the Rotten Tomatoes on these aren't very high. But if you look at something like, you know what a great example is?
What?
VHS. VHS was like an anthology film from a little while ago. And it sort of featured like five or six, every one of these guys, like 5 or 6 directors who are all contributing to this, right?
Okay.
And nobody really comes out of it. Like nobody's that great.
All right.
In the movie. And one of the guys that was in it was Adam Wingard, who did You're Next, who did The Guest.
Yes.
He just did the Death Note movie that nobody liked.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He did the Blair Witch reboot.
Okay.
Which kind of
came and went.
Yep. Where is it now?
I don't know.
I don't know either. And so the entire thing is like, I blame it on Mumblecore.
Oh.
Because Joe Swanberg directed one of the VHS features too.
Okay.
And what's the problem with Mumblecore? It is, we grew up watching movies, so we think that we can make movies, and because we're white and connected, we can get money, and so now we're making movies.
Yep.
And the thing is, but Mark and Jay, you have to be good.
Yes.
You have to be able to write a script. Judd Apatow has taught you that you can just, find the movie in editing or whatever, or just talk until, here's a premise, and let's just screw around in a kitchen, and we've got a scene. You don't.
That's right.
I wonder how, I think Guillermo and I could hold hands over this. I think we both agree that you need more than that. You need a script.
Yes.
And none of them have one. And so they take something like You're Next, which is supposed to be, it's so fresh, by also being retro. It's neither. It's just derivative. It is just another movie about, I don't know if it really spoils it, but anyway, like crazy white people wear animal masks, and then there's like a final girl situation.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And so she's staying alive in a house by fighting killers. How many freaking Halloween movies are there? Like, it's just
a lot.
It's the exact same thing. It's not. Yeah. It's not going anywhere. They're not really pushing anything anywhere new. And Adam Wingard, who's been called out as being the sort of one of the faces of this new movement of horror, went immediately to Death Note and the Blair Witch.
Yeah.
So even after, like, The Guest, not a great movie, but I thought The Guest was a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
Because The Guest, you watch it and you're like, I don't understand what's going on.
Right.
What's happening here? None of this makes any sense. This is insane. And I'm digging it.
Right.
And then I'm kind of rooting for Dan Stevens.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what he wants.
Right.
It's kind of fun. The Guest, your review, go.
I think it was fun and creepy and kept you on your toes, and the finale is at like a school, and it's all weird and creepy. It's like school dance.
Yeah. And, which is not, I mean, that ain't new.
No, but it was a kind of a new take on it, and it was kind of like a lot of like, wait a minute, the call is coming from within inside the house, like stuff like that.
Kind of. Yeah. But then it was also like he's kind of like an escaped mental patient, but instead he's like an escaped like super soldier or whatever. It's something the government shows up and it's like, what is going on?
Yeah.
And then in the middle of it, you've got Micah Monroe, who is she still doing this? Because she was, and this is, I'm sure, she was the Jamie Lee Curtis. I know there's a better example, but she's been in a bunch of these movies that I'm complaining about. Let's move on to another one that's actually good. It Follows.
Yes.
It Follows is itself, I think, very much in the vein of what we've been talking about before, where he's clearly drawing on what we know about the language and grammar of horror films. Mm-hmm. But it keeps its references in the margins, I think, and also is unique because it creates a world where we don't ever really understand when it is. It's set kind of timelessly because they drive old cars. There's a lot of synthy music because that's like kind of hot right now or whatever. But then at one point, one of the characters is playing with like a e-reader or something.
Okay.
And it's like, it's like a clamshell kind of thing, and she's reading a book or something on it, and it looks like it's like future technology.
Okay.
And you go, wait a minute, when is this an alternate universe? Like, what is this?
Right.
And it doesn't matter. Like, it's just fresh and different. Mm-hmm. And I think it says a lot about David Robert Mitchell, the guy that wrote and directed it, is that he doesn't make horror movies. He made The Myth of the American Sleepover. His new movie is called Under the Silver Lake, which is kind of, I don't think it's going to be very good because it's like a, whoa, is an LA crazy kind of movie. And just Silver Lake in the title, I was complaining about hipsters before. But anyway, it's going to be like a mystery comedy type thing. And so he just stopped off on horror because good idea.
Right.
Executed it well and took off. It isn't just trying to go, hey, I'm the new Eli Roth. Well, Eli Roth hasn't gone anywhere. And if you want to talk about the granddaddy of really liking something and having very little skill in making it yourself, what are we talking about?
Eli Roth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think It Follows is creepy because, I mean, it's shown you're being followed by different people and you kind of don't know who they are or what's going on. And
yeah, it could be anybody.
Yeah.
It takes the idea of the killer lurking in the bushes or in the sewer, if you will.
Right. It.
We're not talking about It because for me, It is just, it's the book, it's the TV miniseries, it just has a bigger budget. Mm-hmm. It literally has a bigger budget.
Right.
So it's not, they haven't really done anything. It's a remake.
Yes.
I'm talking about like, what are your new ideas? It's great that it succeeded and that's a franchise that's going to keep horror going. But yeah, what are the new ideas here?
Right.
I saw It Comes at Night the other day. Okay.
How was that?
I screwed that up. Ask me what comes at night.
What comes at night? Oh.
It's very anticlimactic.
Okay.
It sets itself up as it takes place in like a post-apocalypse, although it is intentionally vague about what that post-apocalypse is. It tries to function as a The Road,
okay.
I think, in a lot of ways. And it does not. It falls flat. It is just, it's trying to be compelling and it's not really, which is too bad. Trey Edward Schultz, the guy who I think he wrote it, but he definitely directed it, took as inspiration this painting by Brueggel's the Elder called like The Triumph of Death or something like that.
Okay.
And so he had all these like high-minded Ivy League school ideas that turned into Joel Edgerton just kind of huffing and puffing on screen, and it's not anything.
Well, that's too bad.
He just lacks the skill. Everybody's reach is extending their grasp here. Mm-hmm. Trey Edward Schultz worked a lot with the Jeff, what's his name, Nichols, who did Midnight Special. Okay. Another movie that is a well acted, is a really interesting realized world, or just not realized so much as it's Veritas almost. You know, you feel like it's gritty. Like I feel like I'm in this world with Michael Shannon and Joel Edgerton. But yet it's clear that they had a second act twist and that's their finale. Like it hits the sort of big, huh? And you're like, yeah, that's cool. But now what? Like what else? Why was Sam Shepard in this movie?
Mm-hmm.
If you've seen the movie. And people are falling for this. They're falling for this style over substance. Because everybody talked about Midnight Special when it came out, and I'm sure it's got to be in the 90s on Rotten Tomatoes.
Sure.
Seeing like, wow, Adam Driver's really giving it to us in this film, you know? Or like, that kid actor is great. Boy, Kirsten Dunst, who knew she could do that?
Right.
But when you think about like what the movie's actually telling you, there's very little there. Because there's nothing on the page. It isn't like something else that I'm sure we've already mentioned tonight where you know there's detail behind this. You know that if I know that if I asked the It Follows guy, whose name I've already forgotten, even though I had a lot to say about him, David Robert Mitchell, what that clamshell thing was, he'd know what it is.
Sure.
Or if I asked him, what if two people both slept with the thing? They had two girls had a three-way with a guy that the thing was following.
Boy.
What happens then? He would have an answer. What if they had to fight each other? So you have two following each other. Like what if you got in a rocket ship and you went to Mars? Would it become a Martian and you were all by yourself? If you are alone on a planet,
yes.
How does it get you?
Right.
Would you just see somebody new? There's just a naked guy standing on top of that ridge over there. He would know. And I just, I've been poisoned against Mumblecore by the stupid Duplessis and their stupid mouths.
I know.
Saying stupid stuff, but it just shows they just don't. Yeah, there's always been a tradition of like art school films that are kind of lazy, like, oh man, it just means what you want it to mean, man.
Laissez-faire.
But that's supposed to disappear when you reach Hollywood.
Right.
And the Duplessis have figured out this, they've cracked this, indie funding sort of thing. They can get Hollywoodish funding for their movies and with little oversight. And so you get The Queen of Earth or whatever.
That was a messed up movie.
Yeah.
That I think we stopped watching.
Well, it was
through.
I feel bad for Elizabeth Moss because she brings 100% of herself to everything she does, and she was working her ass off in that. But for why?
Yeah.
Was that horror? Psychological horror?
It was psychological.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say so.
So anyway, do I feel purged? The Purge. That's really more like an action movie, though, isn't it?
I guess so.
I guess at this point.
It's action horror.
Action horror.
Yes.
Wait, are you pitching something?
Maybe I am.
She works by night and kills by day. Action horror. I don't even know what that is. There's one more movie that I saw. It was called The Black Coat's Daughter.
Okay.
And it starred Kiernan Sherpa. Is that her name? Lucy. Not Lucy. Betty. Not Betty. Who's Don Draper's kid?
Oh, what is her name?
Mad Girl.
Sally. Her name is Sally.
Yeah, Sally.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Emma Roberts, Don't Judge Me. And, that's it.
Okay.
So, and it's another one of it's about something. So some girls live at a girls' college. Honestly, it's sort of like if Sally got left at her boarding school, like over break, because Don was drunk and Betty thought that Don, was supposed to pick her up. And so it's about these girls who are at this girls' school, and what if one of them's possessed?
Okay.
What would happen?
All right.
And then it sort of deals with the fallout of that. It's not good.
No?
No. It's not good.
It's too bad.
It's trying a lot of stuff, and it is not... I don't think it's nailing that stuff.
Okay.
I guess I can't really say more without really spoiling it.
All right.
And I would say, okay, so should I watch this movie? I don't know.
No?
I don't know. I think it's confused low key for deep.
Okay.
No, low key, not okay. Which is something people have been doing forever. So anyway, it's by Oz Perkins, who is the son of Anthony Perkins.
Okay.
So he thought, my dad's Norman Bates, I can make horror movies.
Right.
And so he made he wrote something before this movie. He directed Black Coat's Daughter, and now he's directing he directed a Netflix film called I Am the Pretty Thing That Lives in the House that got really, really bad reviews.
That sounds creepy.
Just like Black Coat's Daughter got pretty bad reviews.
Okay.
I thought I'd give it a chance, and it is undercooked, like pretty much everything we've talked about.
All right.
Cook it all the way. That's my advice to you. I think that's how you get a psycho. That you cook it all the way.
Absolutely.
Have an idea and
see it through.
Any last thoughts about horror?
I think that I don't know. Maybe we're going through a lull or maybe not so great time for
I don't know
horror.
how you get better filmmakers, because I think we have people who are growing up with privilege and who are growing up as movie fans. And we need to get people who had to really fight for what they've got, and so they really appreciate it. And I'd like to see some people who are, aren't afraid, who aren't trying to go, I've seen Don't Look Now. It's like, I get it.
Right.
Just make something. Don't worry about copying something.
Don't do an homage to something.
Yeah, let's cool on the homages. And if you do something and then it turns out to be like it's something else and you didn't mean to do it, you can just pretend like you did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Or just be honest. Be like, I didn't know that. It's great. It's cool that, I would create something so similar. But I think we've just got too much of this referential thing going on. We've got a bunch of people who are growing up. They haven't developed a talent because they haven't had to fight for it. And they're just making what they've already seen. And they're just replicating it instead of, commenting and transforming if they're going to reference something. Like, what are you trying to say about this? Mm-hmm. That's what I think.
Yeah.
It's scary.
Take my hand and rock.
So that's it. If you're a horror fan and you like these horror films, I'm glad that you are enjoying them. I know that horror has never been best picture material.
No.
Nobody's going to hold up Friday the 13th, Part 8, and say, hey, where's the best film for this?
Right.
I know that. And I know it's, it's trashy movies. But come on. You guys know the difference. There's good trashy movies.
Yes.
And there's just trash.
Absolutely.
So that's what we're talking about there. Let's talk about some movies that aren't trash, or are they?
Oh, boy.
Discuss. No, as you know, April 26th, I believe, the day is the release of the Avengers Infinity War, the final movie in the whatever and the thing and the stuff.
Yeah.
We always talk about phases. I'm always pretending. I have no idea what that means. I don't know what the phases are. I don't understand anything. I just know that there's like 18 of these things. And so not in one day, but over the course of this month, the month of April, we're calling it Avengers April.
Yep.
Avengers April. We are going to watch every one of the Marvel Cinematic Universe films.
Yes.
And we're going to go Phase 1 next week, Phase 2 week after, Phase 3 week after that, and then, of course, right after that, that fourth week, our review of Avengers Infinity War.
Yes.
This was your idea.
Yes, it was.
So you're responsible.
Okay.
You're going to take the blame.
I'll take responsibility.
Why did you want to do this?
I just thought that it sounded fun, like it'd be a good idea. I kind of want to rewatch all the films because I don't necessarily remember them all as well.
Okay.
And I just
feel
thought
like I
it'd
remember
be a refresher.
Many of them very well.
Okay.
We actually haven't embarked on this yet, and I'm just sitting here thinking about watching Iron Man, and it's like, I don't not like it,
right?
But I've seen it.
True.
But we're going to watch it with new eyes.
That's right.
And we're going to watch it for an eye towards the ongoing narrative that we know doesn't exist when it starts.
Yes.
And is maybe somewhat more emergent. Mm-hmm. But we will have comments related to the emergence of that ongoing dialogue, and maybe we'll find the place where it really starts to click together. Mm-hmm. And we realize, oh, they know where they're going now.
Right.
I'm not sure that ever happens, though. Well, hey, we'll see. That's what it is. It's a big project. It's an experiment. And the experiment begins on our next show, where we'll have a review of... Well, it's not really a review. We'll have a chat and analysis of the first 5 movies of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Mm-hmm. And culminating with The Avengers in 2012.
Yes.
So join us for that. You can keep up on that. And we will also be... to support this and to exploit this, we'll be also giving social media updates about our progress as well. So look for live tweets from us about that and some posts on the social medias. You can find us on Twitter and Facebook and also Instagram at Just Enough Trope. So follow us there so you can get our updates about this grand rewatch, this great plan, this great leap forward.
Yes.
Into the Marvel Cinematic Universe and where it's going after this. Who knows? I can tell you where you're going. You're going to Apple Podcasts. You're going to subscribe to our show if you haven't already, or go to Stitcher or Google Play. Also, I'll have to check. Trying to get us on Spotify.
Okay.
Spotify has podcasts now, and so you can find your favorite podcast there. I got to check if we're on there. But anyway, we will be soon. Or you can find us on Enterprising Individuals. That's not right. I've been doing a lot of shows this week. You can find us on justenoughtrope.com. While you're on those platforms, give us a nice little review if you would, because it really does help the show. You have no idea how good it is to get a review, to hear how you think we're doing. And other people read that review and they think, gotta check this out.
Yes.
And also, it's about algorithm, baby.
That's
so
right.
If you give us a high rating, we move up in the ranks and everybody gets what they want. We get to be exposed to more people. You guys get to hear more from us. So give us 5 shoes that don't have a sexual connotation. Forget about that. Put that out of your mind. They're just there very prominently and possibly popping and dipping, and they might be on a woman's foot. That's all I'm saying. But they are definitely women's shoes. No, Ron Perlman, he's got a shoe.
Yeah.
In Crimson Peak Rim, Crimson Rim Peak.
Oh, okay.
He's looking for his shoe.
Yeah.
So it's not just ladies.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's not about ladies.
No.
So forget it. Just give us 5 stars. We'd appreciate it. Join us again, like I said, next week for our Phase 1 Marvel review deal. We'll have a better name for it next time, and I think that's it for this time. We're signing off. I'm your host, Caliban.
I'm your co-host, Mikan Hana.
Keep the geek fires burning.